Hey guys, this is David Wynn with the Mortgage Edge podcast brought to you by Click and Close Mortgage. Today I got a very special guest from Lake Jackson, Texas, which is south of Houston, Texas, I believe. We have Tammie Bell. Tammie, what's up?
Hey everyone, thank you so much, David. Appreciate you inviting me on your podcast and just enjoying the day and visiting with you. So we're just enjoying a beautiful warm spring day down here in Lake Jackson.
I know, right? Well, you're a very special lady. You know, we don't have to talk about your production because you've been killing it in the real estate market for a very long time. Let's talk about that. How long have you been a realtor in this market?
I have been involved in the housing industry since the early 90s. So I've been a licensed realtor almost 30 years, 28 years here in the local market.
That's amazing. And now you have your own brokerage. How many people do you have working for you, Tammie?
I did. I opened my own brokerage 7 years ago, and we have 12 of us here. So
and as a broker, that's awesome. And one thing I do know is, you know, as a broker, there's producing brokers and there's non-producing brokers. I know for a fact that you're a producing broker. So, I mean, you're super busy. How do you juggle doing actual front man for the transaction, also running a brokerage?
Well, I tell you what, it takes teamwork, and that's how it all originally started out. Was TBT originally stood for Tammie Bell Team before I opened up my own brokerage. So you're only as good as your weakest link. So you have to have strong individuals to support you and help you. I have 2 licensed staff members, so they certainly do it. But my job as broker and producing is really to be a rainmaker and help all my agents succeed at their level of success, whatever their level of success is. So at some point in life, I'm sure I will retire or slow down. But in the meantime, you've built that momentum, and we want to continue to be a rainmaker for my other agents to have that success as well.
I'm going to catch you on that. You said when you retire. Me and you actually talked about this, and we talked about you were never going to retire. You'll just slow down a little bit.
There's a plan to retire in 2 years. I don't know that I'll personally ever retire just because it's probably not in my DNA. However, at some point, we do enjoy life, and you do have to. So it's not anywhere on my near horizon. I figure I will probably be one of these token 90-year-old ladies out there selling real estate. So we'll see how that goes, and it's certainly knocking on my door.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Your family life. You know, you're a mother. You're also a grandmother. You know, you're juggling family, your brokerage. I also know you're one of the hardest working women in real estate. You know, your day starts every day at 4 a.m. America, let me repeat that. Tammie Bell starts every day at 4 a.m. So let's talk about that a little bit. How long have you been getting up at 4 a.m. to start your day?
Oh, probably 10 years. If I want any time for myself, it has to be between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. After that, it's devoted to others and my clients and my family and my needs. So my quiet time and my personal time is typically between 4 and 6 a.m. I'm typically at the office by about 7 a.m. Already have checked emails before I arrive here. And then at the end of the day, whatever that does look like, that I'm involved in a lot of different things. So board of directors for our Property Owners Association, Rotary. I've been involved in the years over the years in all the aspects that my kids grew up in: project graduation, sports, what have you. I'm involved in the chamber. I'm just a big believer in giving back to the community and being involved in the community. So it's not uncommon that once my day does stop, that I have meetings or commitments after hours as well. And kind of that too a while ago where you talked about how do I juggle being a producing broker and a managing broker. A lot of times after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening is when I do a lot of my personal paperwork that I need to get done, and return phone calls and emails as well, after the needs of my agents have been put first and my clients put first. So that's kind of how my day starts at 4 a.m. because if not, I just don't get any personal time because I have committed myself. And that's personal choice. That's not for everyone. That's just my own personal drive. I always say sleep is overrated. People ask if I often sleep, and I'm not. No, it's overrated. I'll do that in another lifetime. Until then, there's things to do and places to go. So I'm a believer in work smarter, not harder. And you gotta You got to work hard so that you can go out there and have fun and enjoy life.
That's awesome. I think that's definitely part of your secrets of success. You just have more hours in the day than than a lot of people start. You know.
That is.
So let's talk about the community. I know as a broker, and one thing we talked about, you're mostly a listing agent now, right? On the broker side.
That's correct. I typically just primarily do listings. I do have past clients, but I have a couple of buyer agents that go out and do nothing but show buyers for me that they've been past clients. I have a lot of clients that I may have done 5, 7, 10, 12 transaction with. So you certainly want to continue to work with them and build that relationship, but also have them with someone that's trusted. So I'll introduce them to my buyer agent. I may even still go on a few showings just because I want them to have that same level of confidence. And always my agents and my staff tell me I have checklists for my checklist, and that's because I want every T crossed the same and every I dotted the same. And it's about the level of service that we provide.
Well, let's talk about that. One thing about the listing is, across the country, houses are sitting right now between probably about 60 to about 80 days. I think on average it's about 60. What is it in the Lake Jackson area?
That's probably very consistent with our market. It depends on the price point. Once you hit over 500,000 price point, then the market does seem to stay a little bit longer, closer to the 90 days. And if you're
Yep.
under 350, you are probably very consistent under 30 days. But 300 to 350 to 500, you're consistently in that 50 to 60 days.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that. It's expectations. A lot of these people that are listing houses think it's the old days of COVID where they may put their house on the market and it sells in 3 days with multiple offers. So expectations is everything. I think that's really important to
Absolutely.
discuss.
And less than 3 months of inventory is still a buyer's market. People think that it's been on the market 50, 60 days and they're like, oh, it's a bad market. It's not. I've been doing this a long time, and I expressed to my agents there was one point in my career, if someone told me they were looking for a home at 300,000, you ran a MLS printout, and that was not when I first started. When I first started, we had books. So, but you ran an MLS printout at 280, 290, 300 to 320, and you might have 50 to 70 homes to choose from. Today, if they tell me they're looking for 300, I may run 250 to 350, and I may have 12 of them to select. So the inventory, the demand still exceeds the supply here in our local market.
So I have to think at this point in your career, it's everything you get that you work on all referrals.
I have a new agent that just joined me earlier this week. Today's Friday, so earlier this week. So I was actually showing her a lead tracker program that I use. It's a Google Doc or
Yeah.
Excel doc, but on that it shows lead tracker. I have probably in 2024, my stats showed about 28% were my sphere, 29% were my past clients, and then another 20, I believe 25, 28% were call-ins through the office that called in and directly asked for me. And that's just a direct impact and reflection of the marketing and the involvement out in the community. And then the others was like 2.4%. So I have at least a little over a third of my business is strictly past clients, and a third is my sphere. Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Tammy, this is what's what is it about your brokerage that what agents want to come work for you? What separates you from the other brokerages?
I think that what separates us from the other brokerage is that I'm confident that we offer the most hands-on mentoring program and the most aggressive training. This past year, the real estate industry went through a lot of changes with the settlement that happened in buyer representation agreements, and everyone was so concerned about that. By the time it rolled out, we'd started preparing for that almost a year. And by the time it rolled out, my agents were highly trained. We have a weekly meeting where we do nothing but training, and for an hour a day, an hour a week. And at that point, by the time it rolled out, I was really confident these buyer representation agreements, if you have knowledge is power. And if you understand what you're talking about and you can explain it, and that's really the biggest thing is that my agents are trained. I want the best of the best. I don't want quantity. I want quality over quantity, and I want to trust that they're going to handle each client the same way that I would with the knowledge and expertise. So I think that's the biggest thing is we offer the most aggressive marketing in our market, and in my opinion, but I'm pretty confident most people will agree with that statement. And the most training, hands-on training. My office door is always open, and they can reach me pretty much anytime. Very rarely are they never not able to get me a return phone call right away unless I'm with a client, but I'll send them a text message. So being able to have that mentor relationship where you give that 30 years of experience back to them where they can go out in confidence and know what they're talking
Well,
about.
I'm an agent in the Lake Jackson area. There's only one place I'd work is probably for you. That's why I brought it up. I know that with your years of experience, you bring a wealth of knowledge. So from a consumer standpoint, I'm googling. Obviously, you have the experience. You have everything. Why should I come to you over every other agent, Tammie?
Well, as a seller, I'm confident that we offer the most aggressive. We offer unique marketing. So it's more, I always say it's more than a sign in the yard and put it in the MLS. Anybody can do that. But what do we do to go above and beyond? We're located in a downtown area where there's lots of little restaurants and wineries, what have you. So we have LED displays of all of our listings, and we have rocking chairs that get used daily out on our front porch. People come by, sit on our rocking chairs, and just enjoy the atmosphere and the sounds from the streets. Often there's live music playing. So we have those that are in all of our windows. Every one of our listings are displayed there. They have QR codes that takes them directly to a website specifically for that property. But then in addition, we do one thing that we do that's pretty different that I'm not aware of anyone else that does, and we've done this for about 5 years now, is I sponsor neighborhood garage sales. When you do marketing, you've got about 2 seconds for a piece of mail to make it from your hand to the trash pile. We all know that. And so you have to have something that's tangible for them to retain and want to do. Most people they're considering selling their home want to clean out cabinets because they don't want to pack things that they want to get that they don't want to keep and move to the next location. So they may be either donating it or want to have a garage sale. But if someone goes through the efforts of putting together and organizing a garage sale, all they have to do is open their garage door that morning, have their items out, sell it, and then taken care of. So we handle the advertising. We mail postcards out for that 2 weeks ahead of time. 3 weeks ahead of time, we let the neighborhood know that we're going to do a garage sale. We do 18 different neighborhoods throughout the year. We do half in the spring and half in the fall. Some of them ask us to do both in the spring and the fall, some of the bigger ones. We have some neighborhoods that may have 10, 15 houses participate. Our largest subdivisions have 50 to 60 homes that participate on a regular basis. So it's a pretty unique marketing. But what happens is we take out a garage sale sign and we place it in their yard Friday evening. And so Saturday morning, the garage sale sign is already out in front of their house. We go by and take them donuts because who has time to eat breakfast on the days that they're doing garage sales? So we take them by donuts so they can enjoy donuts while they're, getting things ready for the garage sale or selling, because there's always early risers that come out early. And then after the garage sale is done, we come back and we pick that up. So we mail out that postcard a week beforehand to the community, different target market areas, letting them know that we're hosting a garage sale. So then they are keeping that flyer that we have on their shelf or on their cabinet or on their refrigerator for a week to remind them of the garage sales. Then we also list all the neighborhoods. So we have people that start following our social media that want to know when the next garage sale is. We'll have homeowners call us and say, when are you hosting a garage sale in our neighborhood? And I've had a small town that's a small village, a little small town here. They called and said, will you sponsor one for our city? And so we've done that. So it's a very unique marketing. And so that's something we do is a little bit. We have a moving truck that we allow people to use if they buy or sell with us. They use our moving truck for free. We also allow our moving truck to be used by nonprofits. So our local historical museum has used it. VAL 22, which is a organization for veterans to combat PTSD and suicide awareness. We have lots of different organizations. SPCA has used our moving truck. So I believe in being involved in the community, giving back to our community and supporting those and helping each other out. So those are things that we do in regard to that. In addition, our conference room. We very rarely use our conference room at night. So most of the time we use our conference room during the day for our meetings and closings, what have you. But in the evenings, a lot of these nonprofit organizations need somewhere to meet. So we also allow them to use our conference room at no cost. And that's just a way to give back to the community, get them in our office door, and build relationships out.
That's awesome. I love giving up your trade secrets because I think that garage thing for realtors sponsoring that is an untapped market. In fact, I've talked to a lot of realtors across the country, and you're the first person that's ever said something like this. And so I think that if you're out there listening and you're a realtor, hey, start a garage sale campaign. Wise secrets from Tammie Bell.
Yeah, we actually have door knockers. The
Yeah.
way we advertise it to the neighborhood is we take door knockers and we have little flyers that we hang on their door and let them know, hey, we're going to be sponsoring a garage sale. This is in. We're going to do the advertising. We're going to provide you a sign. All you have to do is get your stuff together, and then we mail that Target postcard out to the neighborhood and another Target area that would be probably first-time buyers or move-up buyers do that. So that's just a unique way. So it's been very beneficial. I believe this is our 5th year now that we've done this, and very very successful. We already had one listing this year off one, and we just started them. This is our third weekend or 4th weekend in the spring. So we've got another one coming up tomorrow.
All right, Tammie, I'm gonna put you on the spot. So I want your knowledge of the last 30 years in real estate. You know, they said 2024 was the worst real estate market in the last 30 years, which I don't know if I believe them or not. I look at your production report and you had a phenomenal year. Let's talk about 2024 and then let's talk about 2025. What's your input on that? Because
You
you've
know,
seen, from 1990 to now, probably three
yeah,
separate markets that are what they
exactly,
call
exactly.
declines.
I remember 2008 when everyone was like, this is such a horrible market. I closed 110 transactions myself. So I'm like, y'all just go ahead and keep saying it's a horrible market because in the meantime, I'm here at the office answering phones and taking calls and making it happen. So I think, unfortunately, a lot of people, consumers and agents, listen to the media. Media is what you make of it. There's multiple sides to the story, his, hers, and the truth, and the reality. And so, those that are waiting for the phone to ring, they're going to be waiting for the phone to ring and they're not going to be there because they're going to be like, oh, I don't have anything going on. I'm not going to do it. But in real estate, you can always be learning. You can always be working. You can always do lead generation. And there's things that you can do to make it happen. So the ones that are out there working, it's business as usual and nothing has slowed down and nothing has changed. For those that are just waiting for the phone to ring and not building their pipeline, I talk about that roller coaster of emotions, the roller coaster of transactions. So many agents make the mistake of they go host open house or they build a network with someone and they focus on that one. You really have to have 4 pillars. Those transactions have to come from 4 different areas because one day one might be a little bit stronger versus the next one. So you have to keep that pipeline and that roller coaster going. Otherwise, you see yourselves on highs and lows rather than a consistent flow of pipeline. So in 2024, we can continue to do business as usual. We do customer relations. We touch base with our past clients 12 times a year. We hold a quarterly blood drive in our conference room. That's to the community. So again, that's just a reason to touch base with our past clients, providing a benefit for our community and those in need, and something that we all should commit to doing if we're able to do it. Something that doesn't cost us anything, and it's something that can't be reproduced, but it's being involved. We do customer appreciation events from our Easter Bunny pictures. We got those coming up in 2 weeks where the Easter Bunny makes a stop by and we have a photographer take Easter Bunny pictures. We do a movie, rent a movie theater out as soon as the summer gets here for a new release. We do Santa pictures. We do a trunk or treat that we partner with our local city on that's gotten very large over the years. And so there's things like that you continue to do those, your pipeline will continue rather than hosting an open house. If you host an open house, you get a couple of buyers, you work them, they go to closing, and then you're back at ground zero. The key is making sure you're never at ground zero. You have to keep all the balls in the air, continue to juggle those to make sure that your pipeline is always flowing and doesn't come to a stop and you start back at ground zero again.
That's awesome. So, what's your prediction for 2025?
I'm excited
As
about
we
it.
sit here,
That's right. I'm
I am
excited
too.
for 2025. There's you can listen again to the media. However, everyone has to have a place to live. So we're all going to still keep on living, and regardless of what they think, people talk about the interest rates. You know, interest rates historically 7% is a great mortgage interest rate. You point out the other days a buyer said, they said, well, we're hoping the interest rates come down, a little bit before we buy. And I said, well, right now you're paying 100%. And he was like, fair enough, fair enough. And one of them is an ER doctor, and so he's like, I waited too long. I said, you're paying 100% right now, so you're paying more than if you have an interest rate of 6.25 or 6.75 and 7% right now. But historically, a 7% mortgage rate is a historically good interest rate. And you remind them, what are they paying for their vehicles? What are they paying on credit cards? So it's still the best interest rate. We were just spoiled for so long at those interest rates for being so low that were historical lows that we'll probably never see again in our lifetime. My first home I bought was 18% interest. That was back in the 80s. So to me, 7% interest rate was fantastic. Obviously the 2s, 3s, and 4s were unheard of, and they were certainly unheard of to stay that low. But reality is you're building your wealth. So you're building equity and you're maintaining your home. The value, you stay there a few years, the value should go up. You make improvements to it. You're building your own wealth. There's no other way that is easier to build wealth than owning a home.
That's awesome. Well, Tammie, I could sit here and talk to you all day, but I mean, it's Friday. The weekend is the start of most people's Monday. So I know you got people to talk to and stuff like that. So what should have we talked about today that we didn't talk about, Tammie?
I don't know that there's anything we didn't cover. As an agent, we can sit and talk all day, just like you said. There's always a connection. There's always something to enjoy, learn about someone else. But just learning what can we do for them and what's important to their needs, and that's what we're here for.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, if I'm a consumer or a client and I want to buy a house in the Lake Jackson area and I want to get hold of you, how do I get hold of you, Tammie?
We cover all of southern Missouri County. Well, we cover all of Missouri County, but we're primarily here in southern Missouri County. We do cover Galveston County, Fort Bend, and Harris County for those in certain areas of expertise in Morgan County as well, but primarily southern Missouri County. But if they want to reach out to us, give us a call here at TDT Real Estate. My direct number is 979-292-6163. Office number is easy to remember. It's 979-299-0001. Our phones are always answered, and we're here to help you in any way. Answer questions whether you're buying today or tomorrow, selling today or tomorrow. We're here for all your real estate needs.
And if you're watching this on TV, you saw that go across the lower thirds, folks. Well, Tammie, thanks for being with us today. My name is David Wynn. I'm with the Mortgage Edge podcast. Have a great week.